Welcome to our video exploring the myth of Atlantis Island. For centuries, people have been captivated by the tale of this lost civilization, said to have been a technologically advanced society that mysteriously disappeared without a trace. While there is no concrete evidence to support the existence of Atlantis, the story of this mythical island has inspired countless theories and speculations. The myth of Atlantis has been captivating people for centuries, and it is not difficult to see why. The story of a technologically advanced society that disappeared without a trace is both fascinating and mysterious. The idea of a lost civilization, filled with riches and technological marvels, has captured the imaginations of generations of people around the world. Despite the lack of concrete evidence to support the existence of Atlantis, the story continues to inspire countless theories and speculations. Some people believe that Atlantis was a real place that was destroyed by a natural disaster, while others think that it was a metaphor for an ideal society. One of the reasons why the story of Atlantis has endured for so long is because it taps into universal themes that resonate with people across cultures and time periods. The idea of a utopian society that is destroyed by its own hubris is a cautionary tale that is as relevant today as it was in ancient times. Additionally, the notion of a lost civilization that was more advanced than its contemporaries is an intriguing one. It raises questions about what might have been possible if history had taken a different course. Could there be other lost civilizations that we are not aware of? What secrets might they hold? The story of Atlantis has also been the subject of numerous works of art, literature, and film. From Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea to Disney's Atlantis, The Lost Empire, the myth of Atlantis has inspired countless creative works. The story of Atlantis was first mentioned by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias. According to Plato, Atlantis was a large island nation that existed more than 9,000 years ago, beyond the Pillars of Hercules in the Atlantic Ocean. But was this just a fictional creation, or was there some basis of truth to the story? The story of Atlantis, as recounted by Plato in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, has been the subject of debate and speculation for centuries. According to Plato, Atlantis was a large island nation that existed more than 9,000 years ago, beyond the Pillars of Hercules in the Atlantic Ocean. The island was said to have been a technologically advanced society, ruled by a powerful king, and blessed with fertile land and abundant resources. However, the civilization was ultimately destroyed by a catastrophic event, and the island sank beneath the waves, never to be seen again. Despite the vivid descriptions provided by Plato, there is no concrete evidence to support the existence of Atlantis as a real place. Some scholars believe that Plato created the story of Atlantis as a fictional tale, intended to explore his ideas about ideal societies and the dangers of unchecked ambition. Others, however, believe that there may be some basis of truth to the story, and that Atlantis could have been based on a real-life location or civilization that Plato had heard about. Over the centuries, many theories and speculations have been put forth regarding the possible location and fate of Atlantis. Some have suggested that the island was located in the Mediterranean Sea, and was destroyed by a volcanic eruption or earthquake. Others have proposed that Atlantis was located in the Caribbean or the North Atlantic, and was destroyed by a comet or other natural disaster. Still others have suggested that Atlantis was an extraterrestrial civilization, or that it was destroyed by an advanced race of humans who possessed technology far beyond our own. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the story of Atlantis continues to fascinate and captivate people around the world. Whether Atlantis was a real place or a fictional creation, the legend of this lost civilization serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition and the importance of living in harmony with nature. The story of Atlantis also reminds us that even the most powerful civilizations are ultimately subject to the laws of nature and the whims of fate. Dr. Smith, as a historian, I have to say that there is no concrete evidence to support the idea that Atlantis was a real place. However, it is clear that Plato intended this story to be taken seriously, and he describes the geography and architecture of Atlantis in great detail. It is possible that Atlantis was based on some real-life location or civilization that Plato had heard about. The story of Atlantis has captured the imagination of people for centuries, and many have tried to uncover the truth behind the myth. While there is no concrete evidence to support the idea that Atlantis was a real place, historians agree that the story was intended to be taken seriously. Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher, describes the geography and architecture of Atlantis in great detail, suggesting that he had a specific location or civilization in mind. As a historian, Dr. Jane Smith notes that there is no concrete evidence to support the existence of Atlantis. However, she acknowledges that Plato intended this story to be taken seriously, and this suggests that there may be some basis of truth to the legend. It is possible that Plato had heard about a real-life location or civilization that he used as the inspiration for Atlantis. For example, some scholars have suggested that Atlantis was based on the Minoan civilization that flourished on the island of Crete around 2000 BCE. This civilization was known for its advanced technology and architecture, which may have inspired Plato's description of Atlantis. Another possibility is that Atlantis was a metaphorical creation, meant to symbolize Plato's ideas about ideal societies. The story of Atlantis serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of pride and excess, and as a way to explore Plato's ideas about utopian societies. In this interpretation, Atlantis represents a perfect society that was destroyed by its own hubris, serving as a warning about the dangers of unchecked ambition. In conclusion, while there is no concrete evidence to support the idea that Atlantis was a real place, the story continues to capture the imagination of people around the world. Historians acknowledge that Plato intended this story to be taken seriously, suggesting that there may be some basis of truth to the legend. Whether Atlantis was a real place or a metaphorical creation, the mystery of this lost civilization remains unsolved, inspiring countless books, movies, and works of art. One theory is that Atlantis was actually located in the Mediterranean Sea, and that the island was destroyed by a volcanic eruption or earthquake. In recent years, several underwater ruins have been discovered in the Mediterranean, leading some to speculate that these could be the remains of the lost city. The theory that Atlantis was located in the Mediterranean Sea is one of the most popular and compelling theories about the lost civilization. According to this theory, Atlantis was a real place that existed in the Mediterranean thousands of years ago. The island was said to have been destroyed by a catastrophic event such as a volcanic eruption or earthquake, which caused it to sink beneath the waves. In recent years, several underwater ruins have been discovered in the Mediterranean that some people believe could be the remains of Atlantis. These ruins include submerged structures and buildings that seem to have been man-made, and some researchers have suggested that they could be the remnants of the lost city. However, the idea that these ruins are the remains of Atlantis is highly controversial, and many experts remain skeptical. Some argue that the structures are natural formations, while others believe that they were created by ancient civilizations that existed in the Mediterranean but were not related to Atlantis. Despite the ongoing debate, the theory that Atlantis was located in the Mediterranean continues to capture the imagination of researchers and enthusiasts alike. The search for the lost city continues, and perhaps one day we will uncover the truth about this enigmatic and mysterious civilization.